So you didn't tell anyone the tape was here?
No, I kept it as a backup. The original and a copy are in the office.
I'll get Marty to come over and dust the place. We'll keep you quiet. Joe Marks admitted he planted a wire on you during the Perron investigation. Knowingly putting a fellow agent's life in danger would cost him his career or his pension.
Marks didn't take it.
That's not what I'm getting at. It's just a private parade. Don't get anyone watching it.
Bailey, having a copy of that tape was my only leverage to keep Marks from pressing that moral turpitude charge against me. A charge he knows was groundless.
Whoever stole it isn't interested in leverage, moral turpitude, or you. They're out to destroy Marks. And I'll bet serious money that tape's already on its way to the chief of the organized crime division.
After 25 years in the job, I bet he's got as many enemies inside the bureau as he does out.
It's not the job. I'd much rather blame his winning personality. Malone. How long ago? Get back to bad, George. North Carolina State Police have been tracking a couple of kidnapped murders. Possibility a third victim's been abducted. 12-year-old boy.
Mom, somebody's yelling, get Shaker. Hell, come on, get down here, quick. I see it, Blitz. Just hold on. Hurry up, Cloud. I can't hold him off much longer.
I have these mud brown dishes my mother gave me when I went to college. Whoever broke in could have at least taken those. I'm so glad I don't have to sleep there tonight.
There are times when work can be a refuge.
Well, man, would have definitely needed a window to be opened that wide.
You were thinking that the kid left on his own accord?
I was hoping, till I saw the blood.
Skin scrapings. That's what caused the bleeding.
He was holding on, trying to keep from being pulled through. Definitely not on his own accord. I know who stole my son. His name is William James Clavel, your ex-husband. He's 38, 6'2", light brown hair. And why are you so sure that it was him? Because he's crazy. There's nothing he wouldn't do to ruin our lives. Where were you taking your son? To my friends in Toronto. Bill must have followed us. Waited for his chance to steal him the first time he was on my site. Is your ex abusive? Yes. Emotionally. We share custody. I worry about Kev when he's with him. When he comes back, he's always angry and rude. He's a different kid. Do you have children? You know, you could try to take your husband to court or modify the agreement if you could prove the abuse. I've tried. He shows up presenting the image of the perfect father. That's all it is, an image. The courts don't stand for who he really is. You know, you're intending to violate a court order regarding custody, making yourself a fugitive.
Excuse me, ma'am. This is Special Agent Malone of the Violent Crimes Task Force. Sorry for the circumstances, ma'am.
You never said anything about violent crimes. This is a custody dispute. My husband took Kevin. Why are you involved in this? What's happened to my son?
There have been a series of abductions in the area. 3 that we know of to date. Kevin's disappearance may be related.
So you're saying that Bill didn't take him? Well, it's too soon to say. Kevin's all he's all I have.
The bodies of both victims were discovered within 48 hours of their abduction. Midnight. Kevin disappeared almost 6 hours ago. We could be dealing with a custody battle here, like the lawyer said.
That kid put up a battle, that's for sure. He definitely didn't want to go. Maybe he's afraid of his father.
We're only getting her version of their relationship. Yeah, which we might want to call into question, because according to court records, she never petitioned to modify the custody agreement.
She's lying.
Any idea why? Locals are tracking down the father. Until I find him, I believe we should consider this a part of the serial. All right. Victim 1, Gene Bellamy, 76, from Lexington, Kentucky, to Woodall, on her way to Pittsburgh to visit her grandchildren. Second victim, Alex Picard, 52, from Davenport, Iowa, last seen at a gas station just down the road. Now, I've gone through employment records, charitable and religious affiliations. So far, no connection between them, except that there were people passing through. Killer could be selecting them because they have no ties to the area. Might also explain the variation of victims, targets of opportunity, And we have to believe he's comfortable in his geographic area, which gives him an advantage because his victims almost certainly aren't.
Yeah, there was torture, there was no sexual congress, no markings or any indication of violence. I'm going to go back over the ME's protocols. They're on their way over.
Sheriff Gates and the Highway Patrol have set up checkpoints, but personnel is limited, and if he is familiar with the territory, I'm sure I just got a call from Washington, chief of the organized crime division. That's it. It was delivered by unknown parties less than an hour ago. When he heard Marks admit to placing your life in jeopardy, he ordered that Marks be brought in for questioning and his office files be seized. There were no office files. They'd already been cleaned out.
Took the evidence of other indiscretions with him.
But not to his home. It was like no one ever lived there. The only thing left was his badge sitting on the kitchen table.
He a candidate for suicide?
I've known him 20 years. Suicide is not his style.
Sure he's in the wind.
I want you in your guard.
Maybe I can take care of myself.
If Marks didn't break into your place, and I don't think he did, it means someone else has access to it. And to you. Someone from the criminal world makes sense. Around possibly. The fact they knew you had to take that home makes me believe someone inside BCDF with security.
Yeah, but if Marks is their target...
Whatever has it in for him won't stop it hurting anyone in their way. Or maybe Marks isn't their only target.
I'm not afraid.
I am. I'm due on the Hill at 10 in the morning for that appropriations hearing. There are a lot of things going on, and I don't make any of them.
All right, now the most important thing is a missing 12-year-old boy with a potentially decreasing window of opportunity to find him. The rest, take care of yourself.
You take care of yourself, Rachel. Sample for testing. The radon drinking and stuff.
Whoa, that's way too much information. Not that it's not nice to have you back.
It's nice to be back, even if it means having to pee in a cup. Guts out on the boy's father. Clavel told several people in his office he was going away for a long weekend to Puerto Rico.
He's traveling alone,
A point he went out his way to emphasize.
which means he probably wasn't.
That would be my guess. And learning he rented a car in Ohio should send up some flags 2 weeks ago in Columbus, unless he's planning to drive to Puerto Rico. Ohio is within driving distance of North Carolina. Scott called in. We found the body. All what's left to work.
Is it Kevin? Body was found in a shallow grave 100 yards from the others.
Is it Kevin?
No. But it is a child.
Pelvic structure?
Indicates a female.
Oh, Grace. Grace, are you...
I'm okay. I'm okay. I am okay.
Grace, you really have to start taking it easy.
I am fine. I am okay.
You know what? You've got a severe
I
case
got a mild case of hypertension.
of stubbornness. Grace, it's okay to be afraid. And look, I don't know Morgan.
That's right. You don't know Morgan.
Yes, but as the father of the son that you do share, I would think that he would respect and appreciate the situation that you're in.
You want to be there for me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm scared. thought of giving birth knowing the risks that are involved are scaring the hell out of me. But this is a decision that I have made.
Abby, you don't have to do this alone.
He wasn't there for the amnio. He wasn't there for the ultrasound. He does it return my calls. I finally had to call him and tell him we were having a boy on his machine. So now that there are complications, I'm supposed to believe that he's going to be there for me? Judging by the fusion of the joints, I would put her age between 13 and 14 years old.
Okay. 2 kids about the same age. So the sheriff said the drop site was Lover's Lane about 20 years ago. I might have some sort of emotional connection to the killer. It might support my theory of him living in the area for a long time, maybe all his life. Are we any closer to the cause of death?
No, not really. But I do have a theory. I went back over the ME's protocols, and there are traces of an ether derivative found in the blood analysis.
So you used that to subdue them?
If the doses were large enough, you could do more than subdue them.
It's freezing in here.
But our hearts are warm.
Speaking of, state troopers just found Mr. Clavel sharing a warm king-sized bed with his boss, Camilla Williamson, in a motel just outside of Cincinnati.
So he didn't take Kevin?
No, he didn't. He's on his way here.
Who is it? Come on, open the door! I want to help you!
How does that feel?
You didn't restrict any statistical responses to the last 14 months, you think?
I think you're too tense.
I just want to be prepared.
Oh, well, you feel prepared.
But if you keep acting like a nut, you'll keep rubbing my shoulders.
Oh. You deserve that.
Look, I know how these things can go. You may be in our corner, but not all the other committee members are. And some are decidedly not.
2 hours from now, you'll have won them over, as well as...
Eating out of my hands. Oh, that's good. Right there.
You have no idea the power you have over people.
Well, you can cut me a check for my budget now. We can start the weekend early.
I like this town a whole lot better when you're in it.
I got my top screenings back. All 3 victims had enough ether to cause death.
Humane way to kill.
We also have an ID on the Jane Doe. Crystal Sorley, 14, a runaway from Mesa, Arizona, missing for 8 weeks. They were looking all over California for her.
These are opportunistic kills. People traveling alone, vulnerable. But grabbing Kevin, it's broke the pattern. Kevin wasn't alone.
Killer all ripped up, no other opportunity presented itself.
Yeah, but he could have picked an easier target. I mean, a child traveling with his mother, she was sure to know that Kevin was missing within minutes.
Maybe Kevin fulfills the physical type.
I get the sense of personal isolation about the killer. Maybe he's drawn to victims in which he senses they're isolated. A runaway, people traveling alone.
Kevin was with his mother.
Yeah, but he's an only child and he was stuck in the middle of a tug of war. Maybe the killer overheard pieces of their conversation. Maybe the drop site has some significance.
That old makeout area.
Yeah, maybe the killer visited it when he was a kid. Or maybe he was afraid to.
It was fairly notorious. A lot of babies were spawned out there.
Well, assuming that the killer is now in his mid to late 30s, we check your records for a young man diagnosed mental problems, incidences of violence, abuse of animals. We're talking at least 20 years ago.
That I can do. The hearings. Where's the thing?
Yes.
Our cost per conviction of $125,000.
That's correct.
Final answer? You want me to accept this figure?
Those figures don't.
You do know what the average American family makes per year, don't you?
That's hardly relevant.
You want them to accept it.
The figures represented in section 211.
Moving on to the next point.
I thought she was supposed to be an alcohol. Excuse me. Every conviction saves a life. The life of a future victim, often that of a child. What's that worth in that shit person? What's the life of a child worth to you?
We all want to save lives, Agent Malone. But this committee is responsible to the American people. We cannot fund a program just because it's well-intentioned.
The mandate of the BCTF is to respond to the 8-ball local law enforcement. If we took into account every case in which we affected the resulting arrest, our cost per conviction would be down to $1.50. final answer.
Excuse me, someone might want to go outside. There's a couple fighting out there, and they're really going at it.
Finally, Kevin, I'm taking him to live up in Canada with you and the schmuck.
Ron cares about Kevin, which is more than I could ever say about you.
Let her go. Stay out of this.
Back off, FBI.
Why don't you use that authority to arrest her? She's the one in violation of our court order.
I am not.
Well, she is trying to take my son away. She can't get her boyfriend to move down here, so she steals my son. Oh, did you forget to tell him that part, Alice?
Kevin's better off with me.
It's not for you to decide.
It's what I want!
Look, she's been planning this for months. She can't keep her hands off this guy, so she poisons my own son against me.
Oh, but it's okay for you to sleep with your boss who's a married woman.
Okay, enough.
That's
Enough.
Look, I'm sick and tired of trying to prove myself to every cop in every court in Jefferson County. You know what? He's my son. He's my son, and I will never give up custody ever. Period.
Yeah, well, right now, neither one of you has custody of your son. So if the two of you could stop going at each other, maybe you could help us find him.
Hurry up, please! I can't get out! Open the door! Open the door! Come on! Come on! Please!
What the hell was that about? You set me up in front of the entire committee.
That wasn't a setup. You were terrific. Honest, forthright. I'm trying to get you the funding you need.
By perverting my sense of trust.
Your budget had no support until I got involved. At least now you have a fighting chance.
The fight was fixed, Karen. I presented that committee with an honest assessment of our funding needs. You turned it into a rally against law enforcement spending. To bolster your image.
You're right. I look good and you get your funding. We call that a win-win.
I call it betrayal.
So, this is about your ego. It's not enough that you get your funding, but it's got to be on your terms. I don't have to seduce you or anyone else.
Then why did you?
Because I wanted to. Not just to satisfy my needs, but to get you to start thinking about yours. The man who sat before that committee and fought for what he believed in came off like a statesman. You could make a difference in Washington.
I'm not interested in Washington. There's a staggering rise of violent crimes in this country. I'm fighting to make sure the VCTF has
What are
every
you going to
chance
do when the
of being able to keep
VCTF
up
goes
with-
away? Go back to being a field agent, an instructor at Quantico? What were you fighting for then? Don't waste your talent, Bailey.
My talent is to be a cop, not a political sycophant to conventional wisdom.
So go be one. And when you're ready to play in the big leagues, call me, and we'll discuss our next step.
You don't have a next step. You don't control my fate or the fate of the VCTF.
I have a vote in the ear of everyone else on the committee who does. Yes. Come on. Hi, Bill. Yeah, I was just looking over your proposal. I have a few suggestions.
There's something about your son that caught his abductor's eye. Some behavior, or maybe a special interest that Kevin openly exhibited. I don't know what that could be. He's a normal kid. Sports and video games. Did he wear a sports jacket or maybe a cap with the team logo on it?
No. He, had his pocket video game with him. Took it into the bathroom.
Takes it everywhere with him. Kid's addicted to it.
There's nothing wrong with that. He likes that.
It's easier to stick a game in a machine than it is to spend time with Kevin.
As opposed to planning him at your desk at work while you and the boss work late. Enough.
Why would somebody grab a kid because of a video game?
Well, the abductor could have a fascination with video games. Or the person that your son is supposed to represent could have a fascination.
Represent?
Well, given the age and the gender mix of his targets, I doubt that who they are is of any real interest to him. It's a role that your son has been cast to play in his ritual. A ritual that includes killing them humanely, which suggests to me that the victims are representatives, people from the killer's past, treated him with compassion, with his family, or maybe an idealized family, someone that the killer wanted but never had.
If he loved him, why is he killing him?
Or maybe killing them isn't ultimately the point.
Tucker doesn't know why he's killing? I'd like to see the budget committee make sense of that. Why not out of it? Final decision of funding is still a few weeks away. If the killer loved these representatives, maybe they died in a way that caused great suffering. Violent death, the memory of which the killer could live with. So he's directing that, grabbing them one by one, sending them off into a peaceful surrender.
Would you put greater emphasis on the role they play in his life? Family, that's the most obvious.
If that's the case, he's done grandma, dad, sis, but no mom.
Maybe there was no mom in his family. Maybe she died or abandoned them.
Would he kill the others if the mother was the one who abandoned the family?
Maybe she didn't abandon all of them. Maybe she just abandoned him.
I don't have any missing persons report of a woman about the age of the mother.
He might not have grabbed her yet.
I miss you too, sweetie. Now I want you to go to bed. And when you wake up, I'll be there to fix you a nice hot breakfast. I love you.
You know the killer may be getting bolder, taking Kevin right from under his mother's nose.
Bolder or more desperate. He saw the perfect kid, perfect chance to grab him, and he dispensed with precaution. 52 hours, Bailey, we may be too late. How are you supposed to know what to anticipate?
I know because we rehearsed. Karen did a 180 on me. Didn't matter what package I presented the committee, the fix was in.
Meaning what? She gets to humiliate you so she looks good in public, in exchange for which she lobbies her buddies to push our budget over the top? It sounds like extortion to me.
Charge I could never prove.
Proving it's not the point. Bailey, she could be the difference in whether or not there even is a VCTF next year.
You're advising phony mea culpa.
Yeah, it's the same advice you gave to me. Apologize to Mark so he'll drop a more turpitude charge.
Which you didn't do. You wore a wiring box instead. Look where that got you.
You know, the advice is still the same. Look, Bailey, you had feelings for her, and she embarrassed you by turning them against you. But the difference is, in my case, the only job that was at stake was mine.
So,
Almost like he's punishing himself, apologizing.
for what?
For killing his family. See, he might be collecting family members one by one so he can apologize to them.
Because their death was at his hand.
Yeah, and most likely by accident, given the age he was at the time. He might not have intended to kill them.
Accidents that involved an entire family that resulted in death.
Where everyone died except for a male child, 8 to 12 years old. Get up. Get up. We have to help him. We have to help him or he'll die. Where are we? It's okay. He won't hurt you.
something I've wanted to say to you for the longest time.
The latest victim is Jane Wallace, Asheville, North Carolina. Obviously under carjacking and robbery. She's 37. Killer may have found his mother. Vehicle first spotted at 12:30 this morning. Pretty isolated stretch of road. Probably forks off the interstate a good 20 miles.
Which local would know?
Victim made a Culpa house around midnight. Gave no indication of any trouble in an ETA into Asheville just around 2 in the morning.
Well, he had to have seen her once before. I mean, long enough to identify her surrogacy. No chance meeting, it wouldn't have been enough.
I'll get with George on credit card swipes.
Have there been a lot of accidents along this highway?
Goes out during ice storms, whiteouts, but I wouldn't say it's particularly treacherous. And the accidents that resulted in the loss of an entire family. Nothing I know of recently.
No, it would have happened years ago, 15 or more.
That far back. Yeah, that was a bad one maybe 20 years ago. Wiped out the whole family. Everyone but the boy. Alan Tishner. Having done his 10th birthday. Balloons blocked the father's view. Car went over the rail. Plane 70 feet. Imagine how that kid must have felt. That was the house they lived in. Why would he still live there? Because of the back and sides.
Can I help you?
Alan Tishner.
Reverend Tishner? Please, I don't want to let a draft in. My wife is down with the flu. You know, Douglas always loved video games. That's all he ever wanted for Christmas. He would love this. When's you, Douglas?
My name is Kevin.
You know it wasn't right what they did to me, Douglas. Making me stay in the garage by myself. All the time. In the garage, in the name's Saber. Just like that. You know, all I ever wanted you to do was hug me, and hold me, and rock me. That's what a mom is supposed to do. She's supposed to hold her baby, and she's supposed to keep him warm. I was always so cold, Mama.
Tishner had a rough adolescence. Drugs, petty theft. What a great one his uncle lived in. Turned his life around. Went to seminary.
What are the odds of two families dying in a tragic accident along the same stretch of highway?
Might not have been a car accident. Just an accident that took away his entire family.
Plane crash. Boating accident.
Maybe even a fire. Haley, he might have burned his house down by accident. Maybe even on purpose.
Why on purpose?
Well, if he was feeling isolated from his family, from his mother.
He would have done it to call attention to his abandonment. George. Yeah, house fires, apartments, trailer parks. We still think of 15, 20 years ago? Anything 100 square miles.
I used to love it like this. Bright, stupid looking. I remember watching you leave the house. Scarf flapping in the wind. How you wore it tight around your neck, but every time I would get even near you, you would almost choke to death. I just wanted you to hold me. I didn't want you to suffer, Mom. I was suffering too. Listening to you cough and struggle for breath, knowing that it was your own mother that was allergic to you, knowing that it was you that was making your own mother so sick that she could almost die. I didn't want you to die. I just wanted you to hold me.
Yeah, think I've got another name. In 1980, fire destroyed a house in Uniontown, killed the entire family except for the youngest son, Walter Petezian, age 9. He had a 14-year-old sister, a 12-year-old brother, and a grandmother that lived with him and his parents. According to the local paper, Walter slept in a room over the garage.
Abandoned to live alone at the age of 9.
Fire was ruled an accident.
This fire was no accident. Look, 20 years ago to the month. An anniversary that must have triggered a need to apologize.
Where's Petezian today? Still lives in Asheville. Tax return has him down as a short order cook. Where? We've been drinking his coffee.
Day in the light.
See the house? All lit up? And smoke coming from the fireplace. I wanted to commit suicide so bad. Just put my feet up to the fire and put my head in your lap. You always put Douglas' head in. You always tucked them both in the bed every night. Don't worry, Douglas. It won't hurt like it did the other time. I'm sorry about that. No child should ever have to die that way. I promise you won't feel a thing.
Stay where you are. She's still alive.
Hey, come here. Hold on, sir. It's okay. You all right?
Mom! Dad!
How long do you give this truce?
You're the parent. You tell me.
As long as they remember that we kept them first. It's the longest Miranda I ever witnessed. I've been loving for the first.
It's 20 years of feeling guilt for a fire he set but was never punished for.
A mother who's allergic to her offspring.
Psychosomatic. It's resulted of a traumatizing birth. The mother was so sedated that the fear and the urgency during the delivery was suppressed.
Surfacing later as a violent physical reaction to holding her son.
You know, sending Walter into a traumatizing isolation. 20 years. It's a long time to say I'm sorry.
Some apologies take longer than others.
So you're gonna go back to Washington? Apologize to the congresswoman?
Congratulations, Agent Burke.
Max.
Must be especially satisfying to close the case when a kid's involved. I know it always was for me.
I never intended for that tape to be heard by anyone.
You made it.
To level the playing field.
And you made 25 years with OCD.
Not because of me.
Yes. Because of you.
You could face your accusers. Be a man.
Lessons in being a man from you. Perone, Conway, Gotti, I gave my life to the pursuit of those monsters. And now, because of you, lives will be ruined, convictions overturned. I won't have my career wasted. All the good I've done, called into question by punk agents who don't understand the sacrifices. I hated you, Malone.
Why are you here?
Thanks to our robust economy and reliable insider information, the Bureau can shove my pension up their collective God-fearing asses. I'm reasonably young, in good health. I lost my family to the job years ago. That leaves me, what, maybe 25 years to dedicate my life to making yours a living hell.
You're crazy.
There's an element of truth in that. If you have any doubts about my ability to do so, when it comes to the intricacies of survival in our business, I've forgotten more than you'll ever know.